You know, these 68 RFEs are a little finicky. And I really feel like one of their dirtiest little tricks that they have up their sleeve that fools an awful lot of very seasoned builders on these things is the fact that the book may tell you the spec that you want to see in this top clutch here in the input drum, the overdrive clutch, which we all know is the problem in there. You know, problem being, the traditional sense is that most guys will just use a feeler gauge and feel between this top pressure plate and the top clutch. Well, when you read a little further, you're supposed to use a dial indicator and regulated shop air. Not very regulated. But, anyways, in this port here to actually measure the clearance as far as how far the drum travels. And this is super critical in these. But I think a lot of guys get lost here. The reason being why it's such a tricky thing is if you look at these, you know, this is supposed to have right now between 40 and 63 thousandths with 20 pounds of shop air. And if you were to stick a feeler gauge in there right now, you might maybe get 30, probably 25 thousandths. You're going to think that's way too tight. Most guys want to set things in the mid-range in the first place. So you'll end up way too loose on this. The problem being that shows up is you'll actually see down here when I apply air, the drum moves down. And there's only so much room it can move down. So we're going to apply some full shop air. We're going to see how close we get. See, that takes up most of that space. And we are right at 63 thousandths with full air. I'm not going to set up the regulator again to show, but this thing is actually about 45 thousandths with regulated shop air. I do like to test it with full shop air to kind of try and mimic full line pressure and see just how much flex and stuff is going on inside this drum before it goes out the door. I do want to make sure that even with all the flex, I am still within spec, which I'm right there. By rights, I could tighten it up a little bit more, but I'm going to let this one go. This one isn't a super, super high horse truck, so we'll leave it be. But, you know, this would seem really tight to your average builder. You know, seasoned builder that's been out there for years. And I promise them it's not. You have to set these up tight. Because like I said, this outer drum that actually pulls down to actually apply the overdrive will hit this hub. And it will no longer be able to clamp the overdrive clutch. And of course, if it can't apply the full clamp force, it's going to slip. And we all know what happens with these things. These things always burn up the overdrives. And that's